In Group 4, we feature a couple of Europe's fledgling nations, beginning with Lithuania. This is Vilnius, and these fans have turned out to see the visit of the World Cup runners-up, Italy. Well, for the Italians, this game really beginning under a cloud. The sad death at the age of just 23 of Fortunato, the ex-Juventus star, who has died of complications following a virus and struggling with leukemia. He was buried in Salerno, and you'll see that's why the Italian national side are turning out in black armbands. Some of the players really could not get themselves mentally prepared for this one, not least Ravanelli, who trainer Sacchi chose to keep on the bench at the start of play. But the Italians had a very strong team out nevertheless, and the Azuris, of course, are playing in the blue jerseys and the white shorts against the Lithuanian side, who don't wish to be seen as a make-weight nation in this group, Group 4, which currently sees the two strongest nations at the top of the group standings. First real chance of goal comes in from the head of AC Milan's Maldini, a header that was only just wide of the Lithuanian goal. Stauce, the goalkeeper who plays for Galatasaray in Turkey, well, had less luck with that free kick that came through a crowd of players and went home after just 12 minutes play to give the Italians the lead through Gianfranco Zola. See it once again, the three-man wall. They perhaps might have had another body in there, and nobody really getting a touch on it, as Lombardo was the target man. It deceived everybody, including the Lithuanian keeper, and Italy were a goal to the good. At the start of play, it's Croatia who were the top team in Group 4, but the Italians, after a rocky start, were right behind them in second place with 10 points, 3 clear of their opponents here, Lithuania, who were pushed back for much of the opening half hour. Minotti, Costa Corta, Di Matteo, Pagliuca, and the Italians with great confidence, playing their way neatly out of trouble at the back and linking well as the final shot comes in from Casiraghi, but without the power and lacking direction to give Italy a second. Trainer Sacchi in charge of the national side for the 37th time this evening, and would you believe he's yet to play the same team twice. Pagliuca in goal for Italy, Benarivo, Maldini, Di Matteo, Costa Corta at the back, Minotti, Lombardo, Conte, Casiraghi, and up front the goal scorer Zola and Grippa. Lombardo's cross easily dealt with by Noras, the Lithuanian number 5. Once again, a shot on the turn from Casiraghi. Well, these two will meet in the final match come November in this group, by which time the Italians and that man there will certainly hope to have it all wrapped up, and surely they will do, with other nations in this group, Estonia, Ukraine, Slovenia, looking to be perhaps Group 4, the weakest of all the groups, partaking in the qualification process for Euro 96. Good-natured but subdued Lithuanian crowd here. We're hoping that the home side could pull off perhaps a shock and find that goal back in the second half. But as you see, once again, it's the Italians doing much of the pressing. Casiraghi had a busy night and laying the ball back for Minotti to fire just wide of the angle. Baggio came on as a second half substitute, looking to lift the Italian game. "15,000 fans in this modest stadium in Vilnius. Never gave up hope that the home side could pull off a shock. Perhaps a draw for them would have been seen as a moral victory, but the Italians playing economically, always within themselves. Perhaps the longer the game wore on, content to sit back on the one first-half goal from Gianfranco Zola, and without exerting themselves too much, they were on their way to the 3 points here in Group 4. Italy's record prior to this one, won 3, drawn 1 and lost 1. Well, that deflected shot from Zola may have been going wide, but good goalkeeping nevertheless from the Galatasaray man. Initial shot from Maldini, misdirected, but quick thinking from the Parma man, the number 10, Gianfranco Zola. But his 12th minute goal, direct from the free kick, was to prove conclusive, and in the final analysis, the only goal of the night. I'm sure that one or two of these Lithuanian players will be making a reputation for themselves, already attracting attention from Scandinavian clubs. The number 8, Ivanauskas, plays for HSV, Hamburg SV in the Bundesliga, although he too is finding the step up to the big league in Germany a little tough going at the moment. Hasn't indeed scored for the first team in some 6 months. But some of these players, certainly within the next 3 to 5 years, will find their way into the major European leagues, certainly Scandinavia initially, and then who knows, perhaps into the big time. But as a nation, the Lithuanians in the yellow shirts and green shorts still have some way to go. And this a night in Vilnius where the World Cup finalists simply had too much in the locker and far too much experience, as Saki perhaps wisely rings the changes, looking for what he hopes will once again be a winning blend by the time this side gets to England in June of 1996, as surely they will. The Lithuanians almost catching the Italians out there. It's a miskick by Maldini, which provides Sleckish with the best chance of the second half for Lithuania to get one back, and he will rue that missed chance for a long time to come. But full credit to Pagliuca, stood up well to beat away the shot from inside the box. Zola laying the ball into the path of the Italian captain Maldini, the AC Milan player, who will be contesting this year's European Cup final, almost laying on a second, as Zola had taken up a good position when the cross arrived. Still to come in this group, we have action from the other key game in the Balkans, a real local derby when Croatia took on Slovenia. And as you see at times, desperate defending from the home nation to keep the marauding Italians at bay, and there the substitute Prexaitis doing his best to concede an own goal. Coach Zelkevicius, knowing as we come towards the end of the game that Lithuania, looking for all the big-time experience they can muster against the premier nations of world football, will certainly have taken much away from this game. They were to come away from the encounter pointless, but a 1-0 defeat at the hands of the World Cup finalists for them was certainly no disgrace. Another chance, just whistling wide of the far post, as Conte looked to bend the ball in beyond Stalcer. And right to the final whistle, the Italians never gave up in the quest for a second goal to increase their goal tally. Strong run from Benarrivo, only lacking the final finish. So Lithuania, who had managed 2 victories from their 4 matches prior to this game, An away victory in the Ukraine last September as their campaign got underway. And then perhaps with greater credit to them, a 2-1 win in Slovenia last November. But this was to be their second defeat, and they could have few arguments with the final result. Just one goal was enough for the Italians.